first grade. It's great to see you again. Father Mike was just here reading a new book that I want to share with you. You know this structure, you've seen it, right by your school. So the story today is, I'm sure you've heard it before, Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. You remember this story? Has your mom or dad ever asked if you got out on the wrong side of the bed? Have you ever had a bad hair day? Do you know what a bad hair day is? Father Mike doesn't, because he doesn't have much hair up there. But if you have hair, and I know all of the first graders do, a bad hair day is your hair is all messy, you can't do anything with it. Well, that's the type of day that Alexander had. And when we're all in this stay at home phase, sometimes it can feel like a bad hair day, and it goes on for a while. So maybe this story will give us some perspective. So let's start. Here's a picture of Alexander. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running. And I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car kit in his breakfast cereal box. And Nick found a Junior Undercover Agent code ring in his breakfast cereal box. But in my breakfast cereal box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. Here's the car of the carpool going to school. Remember going to school? In the carpool, Mrs. Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Those are prized seats. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said, if I don't get a seat by the window, I am going to be car sick. No one even answered. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Now they're at school. Remember your first grade classroom? Miss Spinelli? At school, Mrs. Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. How in the world do you draw an invisible castle? Well, maybe with invisible ink. At singing time, she said I sang too loud. At counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said that Philip Parker was his best friend and that Albert Moyo was his next best friend, and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, The ice cream part falls off the cone part and lands in Australia. Not a very nice thing to say. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag, and Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a piece of jelly roll that had little coconut sprinkles on the top. Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Sounds like things are going from bad to worse for poor Alexander. That's what it was. Because after school, my mom took us all to the dentist, and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said, I'm going to Australia. Unlike Alexander, I like my dentist. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot. Ooh, ouch. And while we were waiting for my mom to go get the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy. And then when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby. Nick said I was a crybaby while I was punching Nick for saying crybaby. My mom came back with the car and scolded me for being muddy and for fighting. I am having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, I told everybody, but no one even answered. Now he's going to go to the shoe store. You should never buy things when you're in such a bad mood. So then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers. Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red ones with white stripes. I chose blue ones with red stripes. But then the shoe man said, sorry, we're all out. They made me buy plain old white ones, but they can't make me wear them. Oh, this is Alexander's dad at the office. When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with his copying machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was careful as could be, except for my elbow. He also said, don't fool around with his phone, but I think I called Australia. My dad said, please, don't pick him up anymore. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. There were lima beans for dinner, and I hate lima beans. Father Mike likes lima beans. Father Mike likes all sorts of vegetables. There was kissing on TV, and I hate kissing. Oh, before he goes to bed, Alexander's going to take a bath. Now, what could go wrong here? My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble, my favorite marble, went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate railroad train pajamas. I kind of like railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, here he is in his messy room, I know you all have neat rooms, not messy rooms. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and the Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not me. It has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom says some days are like that, even in Australia. Well, that's the end of our story, but I know this. All of you first graders are not like Alexander. You make the best of every day because every day is a gift, even in Australia. So until next time, stay safe, be safe, listen to your moms and dads, and we're apart for now, but we'll all be back together again someday soon. God bless you all.